So how do we stand? Brighton have slipped to 12th place. Not looking good for West Ham United in 19th right now. Fulham having a difficult start in 16th. Leeds pleased to get that win. They're in 14th. And then the climbers, Newcastle into the top half. Manchester United up into the top four. And doesn't that look much better for them? In the company of Manchester City, Sunderland, who are in their highest league position for almost 25 years, and Arsenal in action tomorrow, who lead the way. To us right now. Brian, congratulations. Yep, talking to the mic, look straight ahead, and we're all good to go. Just how important was that result for you?
Yeah, I think it was very important. Obviously, 3 wins in a row now. I think it's great for the confidence of the team and for everyone. I think we've been waiting for this for a long time, and yeah, it's only good.
How good was this Manchester United performance, would you say, Brian?
Yeah, I think we played a great game. Obviously, we are a bit disappointed to concede 2 goals, but the most important is the win, and at the end we did it.
I wanted to ask you as well, that feeling of scoring 2 goals at Old Trafford, your first double at home, how does that feel?
Yeah, honestly, so good. Yeah, the atmosphere is crazy here. The fans are unbelievable, and it's always good to score goals, but especially here.
Brian, Jamie Redknapp, congratulations. 2 beautiful goals. Hopefully you've got a screen there. Talk us through the first goal, because it's a really good bit of link-up between you and Sesko.
Can you see it, Brian?
Yeah.
He's enjoying it.
Talk us through it.
Your good movement here.
Yeah, see, Sesko can always turn around and deliver good balls. And I didn't ask myself a lot of questions. I just went and I tried to beat the defender and the keeper.
Love that smile. And then obviously the second goal. Great understanding with Bruno Fernandes this time. There's a lovely little... He leaves it for you. You take a really good touch and then smash it into the top corner. This was almost telepathic between the two of you.
Yeah, I've seen a big gap. Obviously, I didn't know that Aiden was going to put it through. And luckily it happened, and yeah, happy to score.
Brian, you obviously did fantastically well at Brentford, and then you get a move to Manchester United. Just talk us about the difference and the expectation and what it's been like to go to Manchester United. And it looks like things are starting to turn for the better right now. How enjoyable has it been for you?
Yeah, obviously I enjoy a lot here. It hasn't been easy at the start, obviously. It's a new environment. I think with the automatism, with the link up with the team, I think everything is going the right way.
Yes, United, and here's Gary Neville waiting to speak to us. Did you score 2 goals in a game, Gary, for Manchester United?
No, I scored 2 goals in consecutive weeks, or 1 and 1. Which does that count?
I'll give you that.
From right back, you'll take that, Gary.
Especially on the day you've been inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame as well. Does he look like a Manchester United player already, Mbeumo?
Yeah, I think Mbeumo and Cunha, I think the risk was removed from those signings in the sense that they've been in the Premier League before and they've got that hunger to deliver at a different level. There was a lot of things about those signings that you felt more comfortable with, and I think that when I look at United now with Mbeumo, I think Mbeumo looks like he belongs, he looks hungry, he looks like he wants to score goals. It wasn't quite happening for him and Cunha in the first maybe 4 or 5 matches when they were getting into the positions, they always wanted the ball, but they weren't maybe taking their chances. But I think Manchester United have got something to build on. If those two can stay up front and live up front in those spaces, and the other 8 or 9 players in the team can just be the foundation for them and sort of keep more clean sheets and defend well, those two will win a lot of football matches for this club.
Of course, new ground that we're treading here under Ruben Amorim. Does this feel particularly significant, Gary? 3 on the bounce?
I think it does. I think that it feels like his best week in the job. The week where I think that, look, where he's been, and I think where we've all been with it, I wouldn't have been surprised. We were talking about him losing his job, and I was thinking he was under massive pressure after going into the international break in October. I felt as though that change could be imminent, but the victory at Anfield, and it shows you how things can turn around. And then obviously this was so important today. Look, he's not out of the woods yet, and it's certainly not a time to get carried away. But I think Manchester United are now where they thought they probably would be. They'll slip down a couple of places after the rest of the teams play, and they'll end up in 6th or 7th. But that's where I think everyone thought they would be. So, look, this has been a very important week for the manager and for the club. And you could see the celebration at the end there was more than just a little bit, I think, of relief that, yeah, we needed this badly.
Gary, Jamie, one of the big things that struck me in these performances, these last 3 games, certainly has been almost how much heart, desire that they've shown. And it looks like a team that the fans can now almost get behind as well.
Yeah, one thing, Jamie, is I think that a few weeks ago I was a little bit worried that the players didn't believe in Ruben Amorim's system, that maybe there was an element of them not winning matches and starting to question it and listen to the noise that all of us, including myself, had added to that. However, one thing that's been absolutely not in doubt when you speak to people in and around the club is that the players really like him as a person, and that does count for a lot. Because I think there's no doubt he's not lost the dressing room in terms of spirit and energy and how they feel towards him. So I think they want to play for him. They're desperate to win, and I think you've seen that coming together a little bit in the last week. I mean, winning at Anfield in any season is special, but for Ruben Amorim to win at Anfield when it was so unexpected, I think just has given them such a big lift. But look, we'll look forward to the game next week against Nottingham Forest, Tottenham away the week after. There's still a big job to do in this month, but I felt as though it was a month of reckoning. And if it had started badly last week at Liverpool, it could have gone a different way, but it feels very different. It feels like the momentum's with them a little bit and the spirit's good.
So what questions do you still have, Gary?
I suppose consistency. It's been a team and a club that you can't really rely on for so long. So the idea of winning 2 or 3 matches doesn't take that away. You can't sort of build that trust back in an instant. So that's still not there. But I think that there's something happening there that, I think the front 2, I've just mentioned them. You've got something if you can keep that back 5 compact, and amongst them there's some decent defenders, half decent defenders. That back 5 can just stay solid, and the midfield in front, let them 2 up front go and do what they do. I think it can be sort of a recipe for Manchester United to have a decent season and to get into the top 6. There's question marks in Sesko. I think that he obviously was a bigger risk of a signing and a lot more of an unknown. He doesn't quite look like he's settled in yet. So it'd be nice, I think, if he can start to look. It starts to look like a front 3. It does feel still like a front 2 with him stood up there. I think that's the big job over the next couple of weeks.
Is that just a question of goals with him, with Sesko, Gary, do you think? Is that all he needs, or is it more the build-up play, the way he sort of he plays with those other 2?
No, it's more than the goals. It's the inclusion within the actual combinations that you see from the others. I mean, you see Bruno Fernandes and Mount, who wasn't playing today, but you see those 2 linking very successfully with Mbeumo and Cunha. You don't quite see Sesko being part of that mix yet. He's not sort of got up to speed and the pace of it, of how quickly they're playing with each other. So he needs to get his game up to speed. That'll only come through time, and obviously he's still quite young. He just does need to get there because he's a big signing still. It's 80 million. And if they can become a front 3, then obviously that will be a huge step. At the moment, it feels to me like a 2 with another guy stood up there occupying space.
All right, Gary, we'll let you go. Thank you very much for your efforts this evening.
Matthias, congratulations. The first Manchester United goal, finally.
Yeah, finally. Well, I worked so hard for this. The wins started to come in and I'm so happy. But of course, I want a little bit more contribution. And then today is coming, we win, and then everything is fine.
Was it playing on your mind a little bit to get that goal? I saw you speaking about it when you were on international duty.
Yeah, always of course, we are a little bit anxious when you play in the front to score goals, like I say, to have a little bit more contributions. But the last time I say this, if my participation is to help the team and then we start to win, I will be happy also. But of course, with this goal, everyone will be around me to push me. The guys started to joking around. Oh, you can score! Wow! But of course, this is some kind of things. Then everyone push me, and then I feel so happy to be here.
3 wins in a row for the team now as well. That's not happened under Ruben Amorim. It was 2 wins in a row last week that hadn't happened before. How much of a platform do you think you've given yourselves now to build on?
It's like I say, everyone have this full confidence on him. He's someone that pushes us forward. He needs to be a little bit more happy now. He always is someone that is very stressful to start to win and then improve every single day. but of course he deserves this. The team deserves this. The United, it's like I always say, you need to be back to the way to wins, and then this need to be the normal for this club. And yeah, I'm so happy to be part of this.
A win, a first Manchester United goal, and the Player of the Match award as well. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Interesting.
A good day.
Yeah, amazing day. Thank you. I'll remember every day this.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but Taylor fans, you will love that. Fourth in the table, 16 points. Owen Hargreaves, how much improvement have you seen in the last few weeks with Ruben Amorim?
I don't think the performance has been amazing, but I think the results have been there. You think back to the first game against Arsenal, where they probably played better than Arsenal and somehow lost the game. But I think right now they're getting results. That's the most important. I think when you have players like Cunha, who have a real personality, I just love the way he talks. You know, he said he wanted to go there. He wanted to play for Manchester United, and that's what you want. I think him and Mbeumo, along with Bruno Fernandes, they have guys that you can rely on, that you can trust. And I think Casemiro's come back into the team. He's performed quite well. They're scoring goals, but I would say they're probably conceding more than they would like. 14 goals conceded, that's a lot, I think, at this stage of the season. But I like the look of the team, the direction, and the goalkeeper has made a difference as well.
Certainly calmed things down at the back, hasn't he? Glenn Murray, so we were 2-0 at half-time, and then, just after an hour gone, looked like it was game over, didn't it, with Brian and Mbeumo at this stage?
Yeah, I mean, you can't go to Old Trafford and concede 3 and expect to stay in the game, but somehow they managed to do it. It was a dubious, was it a free kick or not? But when we see it, and Mbeumo just took this in 3-0, you feel like it's game over. But they showed a little bit of character, Brighton.
And that summed them up, didn't it? They're trying to play for the nutmegs, turnover in possession. Great finish from Mbeumo. But I just thought Brighton, up to the 3-0, they were played naive. Do you know what I mean? They were trying to play in areas where it wasn't on, Glenn. Yeah,
like I say, I think 3 of the Manchester United 4 goals came from good possession of Brighton with no pressure on them. They're in possession like that, especially away at Old Trafford, especially against a team like Ruben Amorim's team that are set up to counter-attack, win the ball high up, and the devastating players they've got now, and like you say, that personality of Cunha and Mbeumo, they've got that aura to wear this Manchester United shirt, to carry this team forward. And then when you've got Fernandes feeding those two, it's just a brilliant recipe.
Oh, and the man we talked about before the game, Danny Welbeck, your old teammate, made it game on, didn't he?
Tell you what, I don't know what he's been having for dinner, but didn't know Welsh could take free kicks. How about that? I would say for the goalkeeper, kind of goes in the middle of the goal. Maybe can't see it or it's too high, but what a finish from Welbs. And then once they scored that first one, then you can obviously feel the momentum turn. Credit to them, they made subs which affected the game. I thought Gomez came on and affected it. This is a great header from the young man, isn't it, Glenn?
Yeah, just a little glimpse, only 18 years old. Paid a lot of money for him, so there's a bit of pressure on his shoulders come from Greece, but brilliant header as he just gets across the front there. Takes a little bit of a whack from Xerxes, but brave header, good header, and gets his game back in the team, in the game, should I say. And then from that point, they just couldn't really find that foothold or that fluidity, or they couldn't just carve out that last final opportunity. When you look at Manchester United, I think probably 3-0 up. Even though they are set up as a counter-attacking team, you'd expect them to have better game management at Old Trafford, wouldn't you?
Yeah. To be fair, they made change. I think they thought the game was dead and buried at 3-0. They made change and it went the other way. One thing I would say is Brighton got the ball forward quickly. In the first 60 minutes, they just messed about with it on the edge of the box, kept turning it over, which led to goals. At the end of the game, they're just getting the ball in the box, putting Man United under pressure, and that's where the goals came from.
Well, that Charalampos-Kostoulos header had you out of your seat in the green room, Glenn. We were thinking the comeback could well and truly be on, but less than 4 minutes later, Owen, Brian and Mbeumo again.
Watch this dummy from Bruno Fernandes, by the way. What's a ball from heaven? Watch the dummy from Bruno. Oh, my word. He's so clever. He's so smart. And what a finish from Mbeumo. But I think you see it from this angle better. Bruno always checking his shoulder. Look, knows exactly where everybody is. That is just beautiful, honestly. Sometimes the best thing to do is not touch the football. And a great finish from Mbeumo.
Yeah, that's why he's there, isn't it? That's meat and drink for him, isn't it, for Brian and Mbeumo. 2 on the afternoon. Brilliant afternoon for him. Manchester United back where we're more used to seeing them. Whether the performances are good enough to keep them there, let's see.
And let's see what is ahead for your old team, Owen, in terms of Sean Dyche against Nottingham Forest. They go to the City Ground and then a trip to London to face Tottenham Hotspur under Thomas Frank. And then after that, David Moyes comes back to Old Trafford with his Everton side there. In terms of a run, how are the next few weeks looking then? And can this continue?
Well, they're going to have to make the game against Forest because they're not a team that are going to want the ball. So, but they need to find a way. Even if you're not playing well, you need to find a way to get points. They're doing that at the moment. Long may it continue.
Yeah. Enjoyed that, you guys. Last few hours, there we go. Manchester United 3 points, and we watched, of course, Sunderland with a late winner earlier on.